Hello and welcome to yet another Retro PC video. This time we're looking at some stuff that I found when I visited a local computer recycler, and they let me dig through their pile of retro parts to see if there's anything worthwhile, and I found a couple of real gems there. So just give me a moment to get my camera repositioned and we'll go through what we found. So the first thing I grabbed is this sound card. I noticed it because of the Yamaha YMF 718 chip that's on it, at the OPL logo, and this is a ISA Yamaha OPL3 SA card that is Sound Blaster compatible, has a real OPL3 chip for FM synthesis, and apparently it's got a nice Wave Blaster header on there too, and it's apparently compatible with Windows Sound System based on what I've been reading. So I'm excited to try this out in some DOS games and see how it sounds. And as the cat's looking over things, we'll just go on to the second thing that I found that was really quite cool. So this started out looking like just any generic AGP graphics card with a big heatsink on it and looked to be about 16-ish megabytes of RAM. Then I get a little closer, and that was made in 1999 by STB Systems. And by that point, they'd been bought out by 3DFX and only made Voodoo cards. That is the 3DFX logo. Looking at the FCC registration, focus, there we go. And doing a little bit of a quick search on the web, found out that this is a Voodoo 3, either 2000 or 3000, 3D accelerator card. So I am super pumped. I always wanted one of these. And I've got a Voodoo 2, so we'll see how the Voodoo 3 works. We'll test it out in my Windows 98 Pentium 3 machine. See if this thing even still works at all, or whether it needs to be repaired, and whether it's the 2000 or the even faster 3000. These cards go for quite a bit of money, and I ended up getting this pair of stuff for not a whole lot. Mainly because it's untested, but also because Mother Earth isn't out to make piles and piles of money. So let's get this installed into the Windows 98 PC, and we will see whether it chooches or not. Alright, let's get this side panel off. Yet another cat comes by. I don't mind having the cats around, but they tend to have a really bad habit of wanting to play with cables and wires, which is not great for old computers. Get the side off, and just to be extra safe and make sure we don't have any conflicts, we're going to take out the Voodoo 2 that's in there, so that we don't have two 3DFX devices in the same machine. So you get to go for a little trip in the anti-static bag soon. And we'll take out the ATI Fury Max as the AGP graphics card in here. Fury Max is faster than the Voodoo 3, but the whole point of this is to try out something different that I've never used before. So speed isn't all that we're looking at here. Now, the Voodoo 3 was the last successful product that 3DFX launched. They had kind of stalled out by 1999 because they were still plenty fast in terms of performance, but they were starting to fall down on image quality. Games are starting to use larger textures and 32-bit color, which the Voodoo 3 could not do because it was pretty much a Voodoo 2, higher clocked, and with a 2D graphics engine attached to it. So it was just a single card solution instead of needing a separate 2D graphics card. And we'll leave everything else the same. We'll only change the graphics stuff. I'll try the sound card out maybe tomorrow evening. So let's get this all buttoned back up, and we'll hook everything up and see if it boots. And let's take a quick look inside. There's much cleaner setup now since we just have focus. There we go. Just have the one graphics card. Still have the Pentium 3 slot 1 processor tucked in underneath that power supply. And a little cooling fan doing its best to keep things nice and chilly. let's get this button back up and see if it boots. Alright, we got everything hooked back up. Let's fire it up and see what happens. We got a signal. Monitor's powering up. Hey! It's going back to my motherboard's default logo screen. So, because I've got some CMOS battery issue weirdness with this machine, I'm gonna have to set everything back up. So, I will get that done, and then we'll start Windows and see what happens. Alright, so I got my BIOS set up, so let's restart. And hey, Voodoo 3 2000. Alright, I'm fine with that. It's not the 3000 like I thought it was, but hey, the Voodoo 3 2000 was still no slouch of a graphics card back in its day. So let's see how Windows boots. I already set it to use the standard VGA driver before I even installed the card. That's just good practice whenever you're swapping graphics cards, especially in Windows 98. Because it does not handle stuff very elegantly when drivers change, especially between manufacturers. Alright. This is going to look not so great. And I also just realized I should have unzipped all the driver files before. So let's get all that sorted out. We will... Yeah, I'll just let it go as the standard VGA for now. Yeah, what's it gonna do? Searching. Sure, restart the computer. Let's see what happens. Alright. Boot the second. So again, we're working just fine with the standard VGA driver. Hey, we hear that glorious Windows 98 startup sound. No Voodoo 2 detected. Yeah, I should probably uninstall that. Whoops, forgot to do that before we started. Come on, open up control panel. There it goes. Add remove programs. Remove the Voodoo 2 because it's not in there. And looks like we're due for one more restart. Alright, let's start installing the Voodoo 3 drivers. We'll toss them in. Downloads. / Voodoo 3 / 10700. There, let's put them there. Files unzipped successfully. Alright, driver kit. Alright, we're running DirectX 8 instead of 7. That should work. When are these files from anyway? Well, they're the final official ones. They're from November 2000 if I remember correctly. So, yeah, we already got everything set up as standard VGA. So, install a Voodoo card. Go to the directory, click setup. Alright, can do. I think maybe iSetup? Ah, here we go, setup exe. So it's installing 3dfx tools first. Hopefully those will let us accept the terms. We always accept the terms. Besides, 3dfx has been dead for, 24 or 23 years at this point, so I'm pretty sure that they're not coming after me for breaking their end user license agreement. You must restart your system. Yes, let's see what happens. Hey, that looks promising. We've got a background that's running in not 256 colors, and the resolution is definitely higher than 640 by 480. And I see a little 3dfx tools icon. Hey, that's good. Alright, let's let this finish boot. And what happens when I right click this? HEP resolutions. You know, let's keep it at 16 bits per pixel for now. 3dfx hub. Yeah, I'm, oh, hello. Ooh, we got some settings. Vertical sync for OpenGL is disabled. Yes, triple buffering is disabled for now. We'll enable that if we need to, if we want VSync on. Geometry assist disable. Okay, sure, why not? 3DFX color. We'll keep the color and gamma stuff working just fine. Yeah, so that's good. And I think we can also... Oh yeah, that Voodoo 2 overclocking thing, I should probably get rid of that. Oops. Well, let's go to 1024 by 768. Yes, we want that resolution. And let's set the refresh rate to 85 Hertz like we had before. Hey, that's nice. Right now, let's set it to 60 Hertz. Probably be nicer for me to record this way. There we go. There. And 3DFX advanced features. No way to disable VSync and Direct 3D from here. So, yeah, first thing that I'll do is I'm also going to install the overclocking tools that we've got, because I think those should let me disable VSync. There we go, Voodoo 3. Enable overclocking. There we go. Let's see what happens. VSync disabled in Direct 3D. There we go. We'll leave it at 143 megahertz. I could probably push it a little bit, but it's an old card, so I don't want to do anything too crazy just yet. And let's install 3D Mark 99 and we'll see what happens. All right, we've got 3D Mark 99 Max installed. So, oh, there we go. Now it's actually starting. And looks like we're out of phase with the monitor again. Let's do a new benchmark. And you know what? Yeah, let's run it at... let's push this sucker as high as it'll go. 1024 by 768. Triple buffer. And let's do... Don't need bump mapping. We will do texture filtering speed. Don't need CPU speed. Just test the fill rate and texture rendering speed. And let's run it through the benchmark and see what happens. Okay. Yeah, this is much smoother than it was on the Voodoo 2. Ooh, that is nice. Shouldn't be too CPU constrained because we're running on a fairly fast CPU for 1999. There we go. Yeah, I don't remember what my exact scores were on the Voodoo 2. I have to look those up, and probably bring those up a bit later on when I'm editing the video. But yeah, this... Well, again, we're also at 1024 by 768, which the Voodoo 2 could never even dream of doing, because it just doesn't have the VRAM for it. Ooh, fill rate. Yeah, look at them blurry textures. Fill rate using multi-texturing, which, yes, this supports just like the Voodoo 2 did. (1024 by 768, baby. That was super high res for this time frame. Alright, we'll let it go through this stuff off camera, and we'll see what the final score is. Alright, so we got 3647 3D marks, which is, from what I recall, not too bad for a Voodoo 3 or for any graphics card in this era. So, let's run this thing at 800 by 600. We'll get some data, and we'll benchmark it again. We'll get rid of the theoretical stuff that doesn't contribute to the final score. And then we can compare it to the Voodoo 2 later on. And then let's play some Quake 2 before I head to bed. Let's see, 800 by 600. Yeah, these frame rates are much higher than what we saw on the Voodoo 2 at 800 by 600. And much higher than we saw at 1024 by 768. So we'll let this run through, and we'll get to the final score. Alright, so yeah, score goes up significantly when we bump the resolution down. 4223 3D marks. We'll go into my records, because I know I've benchmarked the Voodoo 2 and 3D Mark 99 Max with this CPU before, and we'll see how it compares. Onward to Quake 2. Alright, we're running Quake 2 time demos at 800 by 600, and I just wanted to show you exactly how fast this is running. So in the time demo, it's skipping all the frame interpolation, so it just runs as fast as possible. And our final frame rate, 93.9 frames a second, which is way faster than the Voodoo 2 was at this resolution. Voodoo 2, you're lucky to crack in the high 40s, low 50s. And we can also bump the resolution up in Quake 2 to 1024 by 768, and we don't need to use that 3DFX mini driver because the Voodoo 3 actually has a proper OpenGL driver. You'll probably bump the gamma down a little bit so it's less bright, but not too worried about that right now. Holy crap, that was 70 frames a second average. That is quite fast, so this card is pretty cool. I'm going to try it out in some other Glide games another time, but for now I think I'm going to head to bed and try and pick this up later tomorrow evening. So it turns out I made a mistake and I forgot to turn texture filtering back on, which is how most people played Quake 2 back in the day. Thankfully, the Voodoo 3 doesn't seem to lose much speed when you've turned on trilinear filtering. Running here at 1024 by 768, we're seeing 69 frames a second, where we were seeing about 70-ish before. And let's bump that down to 800 by 600, and we'll see how close to 90 we get. It's hilarious hearing the sound try and keep up with this. 92.4, so no real performance lost at 800 by 600 for the mighty Voodoo 3 2000. Alright, so yeah, that error got fixed. And with that, time for me to get some sleep, and then tomorrow we'll test this out with Need for Speed 3 and probably Need for Speed High Stakes, see what sorts of frame rates we get in Glide and in Direct 3D mode, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so it's the next evening, and I've been doing a little bit of testing before I record, trying to get some footage of Need for Speed High Stakes so that I could get a replay going and record some of that. Then realized that the Voodoo 3 has a known issue with that game, where if you run it at high resolution, which is where the Voodoo 3 really shines, it just is incredibly choppy and not super playable, and it's due to some kind of weird rendering bug that no one's been able to fix over the past 25 almost years. So we'll move on to the sound card now. I've put my X2GS wavetable module onto the sound card's wavetable header, and we'll see if this card can reproduce OPL3 music the way that I think it should sound. We'll get some direct captures off of there, and we'll also check and see if this card has a bug-free MIDI implementation for that for the Wave Blaster port, because I know my Sound Blaster cards really don't work well with TIE Fighter especially. So let's get this plugged into the computer and we'll see what happens. Alright, so we're recording again. So let's try out playing some MIDI files. Let's go to Windows, Media. Let's try playing Canyon.mid. There's the OPL3. I think we were hearing it on the Microsoft GS synthesizer. That sounds like OPL3 music to me. Alright, I can get some direct captures from that later. But now let's go to DOS. We'll restart and we'll see how stuff sounds in a DOS environment where we really care about the OPL3. And while we're here, let's make sure the wavetable card, my little X2GS, still does its thing. Let's play Canyon.mid again. There we go. Yeah, that sounds better. Okay. Yeah, we'll restart in straight MS-DOS, and we'll start trying some DOS games out. Alright, so I've started up TIE Fighter in MS-DOS, and we're in its sound configuration, and it looks like this card detects as a Sound Blaster Pro. We can hear the TIE Fighter screaming around, and FM synth music sounds pretty good to me. And let's check the general MIDI on port 330. Yep, X2GS working just fine. Yeah, so that's pretty great. You know, we'll save the general MIDI. Quit. Alright, and you know what? Let's try out Doom. / Doom. Setup. Choose music. Sound Blaster. Sound effects. Sound Blaster. 220 RQ5. DMA1. 8 sound effects. Oh yeah. There's that crispy FM synth sound. Alright, so yeah, we'll get some recordings of some of the music in this game. There we go. Yeah, we'll hook this up for direct recording in a few moments, but for now, I'm going to stop recording the video and we'll just go from there. So one test of the OPL3 is how well it works with the DMX music patches that I've previously made a video about. Let's fire that up. Ooh, that sounds pretty good. There we go, got that nice crunchy guitar. Alright, yeah, we'll get some direct capture from this and we can compare to the actual, or to the OPL3 on the Sound Blaster 16 that I've got, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way it works in Doom. Alright, so one game that's always been giving me a lot of grief is Tyrian. So let's go to that folder, get to the setup. Hey, actually it's not crashing instantly, that's impressive. And the sound effects are working as a Sound Blaster. We should be able to use it as the Windows sound system though. Nope, never mind. Okay, so Sound Blaster it is. DMA1. And it's working just fine on the X2GS. Yeah, so that we know what it sounds like. We've played around with the X2GS on here before. Let's put it to FM sound. There we go. We'll get direct captures of this so that you get proper volume on it. But yeah, it sounds like good FM synth to me. Yeah, it sounds just like an OPL3 should, so this is a really great choice for sound for this game. So yeah, Tyrian has been really fussy with me with Sound Blaster compatible cards in the past. Alright, well, I'm satisfied with how this sound card's working. It's a really great piece of DOS hardware. And yeah, I'm probably going to hang on to it just as a curiosity more than anything else. And you know what, just for fun, let's see if it works in Epic Pinball. Because that game also is pretty sensitive to having a genuine Sound Blaster or not. I know that my A3D card hasn't been super happy there. So let's go with Sound Blaster Pro, 8-bit stereo, RQ5, DMA1, ultra high quality, Pinball. It's working! Yeah, this game uses mod music, so it's all digital. All right. Uh-oh. There's the music. There we go. All right. I'm going to exit this now. And time to put my phone down. We'll play a bit of TIE Fighter, and we'll record some audio directly from it so that you can enjoy it. Alright, I just finished playing a bit of TIE Fighter and verified that yes, indeed, the music does work just fine when using the X2GS on the wavetable port. There's none of the stuttering or pauses that you see on a Sound Blaster 16 or AUS64, and the FM synth music sounds just as it should because it's an actual Yamaha OPL chip. So that about does it for this video, and we'll just get back to the main hall here, and we'll let you play the rest of the video out with direct capture, comparing a little bit of the FM synth sound versus the wavetable audio from the X2GS in TIE Fighter's main hall here. So, until next time, thank you very much for watching, and keep an eye on this channel for more retro PC stuff as I decide to post it.